Hey everybody, this is Dr. William Clark here from the Dr. William Clark podcast. Wanted to check in really quickly. I had posted something earlier when I said, what did I say? A lot of people think fundraising is hard. I've learned that if you just open up your eyes, opportunities are all around you. You'll see the money you need to support your vision. Just take off your sunglasses. You will see money without the dark shades. And this was an interesting post I wanted to share with you really quickly because I think that, some of you have fears of fundraising and building for or building up your nonprofit, building up your ministry or your business. And the fears are legit. I have had my own fears over the years, which were created by a situation that I went through years ago. And because of an old situation, I, in fact, swore off fundraising, grant writing, and generating revenue for the nonprofits I was a part of for years. And I lost a lot of opportunity because of fear and because of whatever concerns I had that I did not address until much, much later. What made me kind of feel more comfortable, what brought it full circle for me, was realizing that fundraising has multiple angles to it, right? Ultimately, it's about getting the money in for your nonprofit, your ministry, your church, your business, etc. But when I talk about multiple angles, what I'm actually talking about, there are ways to fundraise that are unique and relevant to you as a person. You don't want to lose yourself when it comes to fundraising and building up the organization you're part of, because when you start to utilize gimmicks and concepts and ideas that aren't natural to you, that aren't yours, that don't feel like it's really you, you start to look unnatural and you start to sound crazy and look crazy to funders and donors who would support you, but in fact are pulling back because they're not connecting with what you're doing. They're not connecting with the event, the proposal. They're not connecting with the strategies you're outlining. What's most effective is when you introduce ideas and concepts that are really, really natural to you, natural to your organization, natural to what you've done in the past. And we call this staying true to your core competency or staying in your lane. And the more you're able to stay in your lane, the more you're able to stay true to who you are, the more accurate your message is, the more connection funders have with what you're saying. And when you're pitching your story, when you're writing your story, when you're writing your grant, it sounds like you. It sounds like your organization. It sounds legit and real. And there's something that starts to bubble up on the inside that the funder and the donor starts to connect to. And so when I started to realize what sounded like me, when I started to really honor and respect my voice and what's up here in my mind, and I started to propose things that were still relevant to the funder, but when I proposed them, it aligned with who I was. It aligned with the teams I was leading. It aligned with the projects I was submitting, and that made sense for our organization. The pitches, it was hard to turn them down, right? And this does not suggest that you're going to be 100% accurate on all the pitches and the grant applications you submit. That's not going to happen. It's not what happens in our business. But there's a connection point that builds between the audience you're targeting and you, the person telling a story. And so when you start to think about that, fundraising is not hard. Fundraising is about telling your story and connecting available resources to the story that you're telling. The more effective you're able to do that, you'll start to see some results. I invite you to join me on my next free webinar, How to Triple Your Fundraising Results Without Chasing Funders. I go into detail about this concept. I talk more deeply about it. I give more details about it. And I walk you through the system that I use to help clients and students, even to help groups that I work with today to fundraise more effectively, to get their ideas out and to find the right resources that makes the most sense for their project and program. So join me for the next free webinar. Go ahead and register for free at mysixfigurefunding.com. Again, that's mysixfigurefunding.com. Join us there. Be on the next webinar. Secure your seat and start to figure out how you can apply the system that I'm using to help expand the fundraising results that you're achieving and to see more results in the work that you're doing. This is Dr. William Clark for the Dr. William Clark podcast. We'll see you in the next show. Peace.